regardless whether you call it the Battle of the Sunshine State or the Battle of Del Boca Vista, when the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning look at each other across the ice this Sunday, they're going to be asking each other the question, you want a piece of me? Hey everybody, welcome into Clearing the Benches, your one-stop shop for daily fresh hockey content. If you go ahead and hit your subscribe button right now, every single day we'll bring you a new hockey video to enjoy. Well, Sunday afternoon, I believe it is a noon matinee or 12:30 afternoon game, the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning will commence fire, and they are going to start their first round playoff matchup against each other. The Florida Panthers are coming in as the 2nd seed, and the Tampa Bay Lightning are coming in as the number 7 seed. The Panthers had a big year. You know, they wanted to wash the stink off of last year. I kind of felt like I think they were disappointed big time in how it all turned out, and they were very anxious to get back to the playoffs, and here they are. They came in this year with a 52-24-6 record, good for 110 points. The big number that jumps out at me is that as a team, they are a plus 68 in the goal differential department. When you look at their lineup, they are loaded up front, you know, big name scorers, big guys who can play in the playoffs, guys who've proven that they can play in the playoffs. You've got Tkachuk, Reinhart, Barkov. On the back end, you've got Forsling, Ekblad, and of course in the nets, you've got Bobrovsky. When I was looking at how these teams did this year, Florida's coming in with a 26-13-2 home record. Very impressive, but even more impressive on the road. They also had 26 wins, coming in 26-11-4. When you look at the series between the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning this year, Florida won the series 2-1. They won 2 games by the score of 3-2 and then 9-2. And then Tampa Bay won most recently on March 16th. They won by the score of 5-3. When I look at what the Panthers are going to be looking to try to do in this series, you know, obviously this is going to be a big-time physical series. There's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistle. In the first game or two, you may see a couple of fights. But these two teams are definitely going to try to out-machismo each other and show who's boss. I think when you're looking at what the Florida Panthers are going to be looking to do, personally, I think Tampa Bay's got some really good defensemen, and then you get into a little we're not so sure zone, and I think they're going to try to expose a couple of defensemen in the not so sure zone, and I'm talking about Eric Chernak and Matt Dumba. And I'm not saying anything horrible about these guys, but I would say if you were scouting and you were putting together a game plan that you're going to go up against Tampa Bay, I think you're going to see a lot of dump and chase, you know, as I call it, smash and grab. They're going to throw the puck in the corner. They're going to have a couple of guys go in, smash the defenseman, and one of them's going to try to grab it and throw it out into the slot, and they're going to see if they can get a quick shot on goal. But I really think that Florida's just going to try to play a very heavy game. I think with Tampa Bay, I'm not going to say they have a higher skill set, because both of these teams to me are very evenly matched all across the board, from forwards to D to goaltending. I mean, goaltending to me is pretty much just a wash. You know, if you said Vasilevsky was going to beat Bobrovsky or Bobrovsky was going to beat Vasilevsky, I would totally agree with you either way. Those are coin toss games, and that's why, in my opinion, I think this series is going to go pretty deep. When I looked at what Vegas said about this, they had Florida at a minus 170, and I think that gave them like a 63% chance at winning this series. I personally think that this series is going to go 6, possibly even 7 games. But I don't think it's going to be a wipeout or a sweep in any way. I think Tampa Bay's got too much of everything. Firepower up front. On the back end, you've got Hedman. And, of course, like we just said, you've got Vasilevsky in the nets. One interesting note about this series is that Carter Verhaeghe was on Tampa Bay when they won the Cup in 2022. And he's going to be going up against his old teammates. So that'll be pretty fun to watch as well. When I take a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, nothing to sneeze at record-wise at home. Both of these teams are coming in with more than 20 home wins and more than 20 road wins. When you can win more than 20 games on the road, to me, you are really telling everybody we are in it to win it, and we're looking to make a deep run. And that's why it's going to be very disappointing that after just the first round, one of these two teams is going to be out. I think, if the playoffs were set up a little differently, I personally think it should go back to 1 versus 8. But that's a whole nother video. But when you look at the Lightning record, nothing to sneeze at home, 24-11-5. And then on the road, 21-18-3. Matthew Tkachuk just said it in an interview yesterday. He was so happy that they were able to get home ice for this series. He said it is just going to be a brawl throughout. And he knows that little things like just having that one extra game at home could be, your hometown crowd could be what puts you over the top, gets you a little extra fired up, especially in a, 6th or 7th game when you're getting tired, you're getting beat up, you're a little bit nicked up. I think the crowd really does play a part in some of the performances that these guys are able to put out. But again, when you look at this and you see that they've got both teams 26 wins at home, 26 on the road. Tampa coming in with 21 road wins. That tells me, regardless, I'm not going to say that these games are all going to be a coin toss. I would say that the home ice team is going to have like a 60-40 advantage, in my opinion. And I would think that the home team should win most of the games in this series. And that's why I think it's going to come down to 6 or 7 games. When I look at what Tampa Bay is going to be looking to do, I think they've got a little bit harder work cut out for them trying to stop the Panthers' secondary scoring. When you look at this lineup here, it's, you got Tkachuk, Reinhart, Barkov. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And then you get down below that, you start getting into the Carter Verhaeghes, Vladimir Tarasenko, Anton Lundell, Evan Rodriguez. These are all very skilled guys. And especially Tarasenko, he loves the playoffs. That guy, he loves to pad his stats in the playoffs. When you look at how many games he's played and the amount of points he's scored, it is, I'm pretty sure, almost even if he's not at more than a point a game pace. So again, when I look at what Tampa Bay's got on their plate, they're going to have to stop not only this first wave of guys coming at you, but they're going to really have to stop the second and third line, that secondary scoring. And again, you don't want to say that these series are all going to be won by the third and fourth lines. But again, when you look at a lot of the talent on this, it's almost a wash. You look at guys like, Tkachuk and Reinhart, you got Kucherov and Stamkos. No one's talking about Stamkos this year. The guy had 40 goals, and he's another guy, loves the playoffs. That's what he's built for. And you look at Florida, and you see Gus Forsling coming in, I believe, at a plus 59. And as awesome as that is, he doesn't have the pedigree that Hedman's got. Hedman's got, I believe it's 110 playoff points coming in from the back end. So, again, I think this series is going to go at least 6 games, possibly even 7 games. And, some of the other things that I was looking at when I was thinking about, what to watch in this. And I really do believe this is going to be a series where you could see a guy that isn't really talked about so much during the season really stepping his game up and being the hero of this series. You got all of these big name stars. There's like 15 stars in this game, in this series rather. And all of these guys are hungry to win the Cup. Florida is dying to win the Cup. Tampa Bay, you don't want to say it's like, their window's closing, but their window's closing. So when I look at this series, I think it's going to be very mucky the first couple of games. Like I said, a lot of pushing and shoving after the whistles. And then it's really going to come down to, I think, who's going to win the second, third, and fourth line scoring battles, and again, not being scored on as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for our video today. Let me know who you think is going to win down in the comments section. If you could, please hit your subscribe button, hit the like button, and as we always do here at Clearing the Benches, let them know you're out there.